Hey Frank, I wanted to just get a sense from you of what it's been like being in the building and trying to get some workouts done. And there are reports of certain teams, right, that have been able to go into their facilities or that are closing them, and just how all of that looming on the outside, you guys have been able to focus and just do what you can every day to whether it's get better or start to get ready for the trip.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously it's an imperfect time. We're still limited in what we can do with regard to individual workouts only. But our coaches are working these guys hard and just trying to raise that floor. Wherever the floor is going to be when we begin in Orlando. We just want it to be as high as possible to minimize risk of injury and just further the conditioning along as much as we can. So guys have been able to work pretty diligently the last few days or so, and looking forward to wrapping this up and getting on that plane.
All right, Dave McMenamy, please.
Hey Frank, you just walk us through what it was like for you to find out the news about Lionel and processing going to Orlando without having him by your side.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. Coach Lionel, had been intent on going the entire time. We've talked to our whole staff about, sort of that this is a personal choice thing. Everyone has the ability to opt out if they're not comfortable with the pandemic and everything that comes along with the virus. And Lionel was okay with it. He was ready to go down with us. After the medical review, it was recommended that he does not go, and he accepted the recommendation, and we support that fully. And we all have to do what's in our best interest to stay safe. Coach Lionel is going to do that, and the one thing I'm excited about with all the staff that we've talked about in terms of who's going to be in the bubble and who's going to be working outside is that we're all still doing our jobs, and we're going to continue to basically work remotely as opposed to working in person. And we anticipate Coach Lionel is still going to be every bit a part of our journey here, participating in staff meetings, in team meetings, observing practice. If there's anything we've learned over the last few months is you can really get a lot done over Zoom. So he'll still be participating remotely, and look forward to having that level of contribution from him.
All right, Bill Oram, please.
Hey Frank, I'm wondering how you guys are using these last few days before you go to Orlando. How useful are they really, or is it just kind of a waiting game until you can get in the place where you can really practice? And then on a personal level, how are you spending these last few days at home? How are you personally preparing yourself to get on that plane?
So the first question, I think it's really useful. I think every time when the guys have been away for so long, every day that you're in the gym, you get a chance to move the needle with your conditioning and getting your legs under you. And like I said, our coaches have been pushing these guys, not overdoing it, but pushing their conditioning, getting a lot of shots up, getting their reps back to where they were throughout the season. And all the work that they're doing this week, I think, just strengthens our ability to hit the ground running when we begin next week. The full contact stuff is still going to be, let's take it slow next week. But the work that we're doing this week, I think, really has strong value. So hopefully that will play out. In terms of me, just hugging my wife, hugging my kids constantly, throughout the house, and trying to do some fun things. It's obviously a little bit difficult right now with things beginning to close down again. Obviously with the beaches and restaurants and whatnot. So it's just been doing a lot more of what we've done the last X amount of months. While we've been in these stay-at-home orders. But just enjoying my time with my family for sure.
Melissa Rowland, please.
Hey Frank, have you seen J.R. Smith work out yet? If so, how does he look? And was there any concern around him obviously not having played since November of 2018 in terms of his conditioning or basketball sharpness?
Well, that's all the common sense concern, but watching him work out, both when we almost brought him in a few months back, and then watching him work out, I think yesterday and today was the 2 days that he was in. It's clear that he's done a remarkable job of keeping himself in shape and staying ready, and I think this is really a great story. You know, when you look at a guy that potentially could be out of the league. There was a starter on a finals team, you know, a couple years back, a champion, and you know, for him to have the perseverance to stay ready and give himself this opportunity, I think is to be commended. Watching him work out, hey, his nickname is Swish for a reason, right? He's a shot maker, right? A big time shot maker, and like I said, he looks like he's in terrific physical condition. And like we've said all along, we think he's really going to help us.
Jim Alexander, please. Jim? Do we have Jim?
Jim, you're on mute, my friend.
Jim, you're on mute.
Whoops.
There we go.
With not only the NBA, but all the leagues that are starting up, there's a certain amount of uncertainty, and I don't know if there's concern over, you know, the rising number of positive tests and whatnot, and you know, just where things are going and whether seasons are actually going to be able to get completed. How are you handling that personally, and then how are you guys handling that as a team?
Well, you know, I think the uncertainty for me falls under the bucket of control what you can control. You know, we all know the possibilities. You know, that there's an outbreak or whatever you want to call it, that would prevent us from finishing the season. But we're optimistic that it will happen. You know, I think the environment that Adam Silver and the league office have created could probably be one of the safer environments in the world. And, you know, we're optimistic that even with what's happening in Florida, that, you know, hopefully we'll be able to still finish the season. Hopefully, you know, those inside the bubble will remain safe, and, you know, that it goes the way we plan. But we're all aware of the possibilities. But me personally, and for our group, the Lakers, you know, until we're told it's not happening, you know, we're expecting to go through with this thing and be able to finish what we started this year.
All right, Tanya Ganguly, please.
Hey, Frank.
Hi, Tanya.
I was just curious how Dion's been looking, speaking of somebody that hasn't actually been able to be playing in games yet.
Yeah, he shot the heck out of the ball yesterday. I can tell you that much. That was an encouraging thing. He's working extremely hard. Looks really good. You know, I think like JR, you know, both of these guys haven't played a lot of full contact basketball in some time, even prior to the hiatus. So conditioning will be a concern, but you know, the talent is obvious when you watch him work out, when you watch him handle the ball and, you know, create shots off the bounce. He's one of the more talented guys in this league. So he's looked really good, and again, you know, if we can get these guys brought along at the right pace from a conditioning standpoint, I feel like both of them are going to help us.
Okay, Nick Hamilton.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, Nick. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Question, you talked earlier about going into the bubble, and you believe the safety and all the health concerns that have transpired as far as the testing goes. But have you talked about any type of plans with the players as far as how to balance going through those measures and still focusing on playing basketball, getting through the playoffs and things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I've saved, because of the limitations with Zoom, I've saved some of my group talks with our team till when we get together in person down in Orlando. But the message is going to be very similar to the way we started the season, that we're going to block out all the noise, and we're not going to be a team that is bothered by distractions or limitations in things that we do. We're going to have a no excuse mindset, and the positive thing is when you get down there, everybody's under the same set of circumstances. They'll be imperfect, but from the start of our season, we've dealt with imperfect circumstances. So, I feel like we're equipped, and the message is going to be to just stay focused on the task at hand.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Dave McManaman has a follow-up question.
Frank, you guys worked out JR early in the year, so what version of JR do you see now versus the guy that you had the opportunity to sign months ago?
Very similar. Those two workouts with Dion and JR, we left those workouts saying both of them could help us. We just had to figure out which one made the most sense. In the ball handling nature, the way we were set up, we opted to go with, but we easily could have chosen the ball handling nature of Dion. That is, we easily could have chosen JR at the time, and I feel like right now he looks similar to the way he did then. He's making a lot of shots in workouts, moving really well, is lean and thin, and seems to be in great physical condition. So not too different from the workout a few months ago.
All right, I think we are good. Anyone one last question? Mike Trudell is raising his hand.
Let's sneak quick one in, Coach.
Yeah.
Frank, with when Avery was out this year and KCP started, you guys ended up going 17-3. I know you're going to miss Avery for a lot of reasons, but what does Kentavious give you with that group, and did you go back and kind of see some of those different games and how you guys are a little bit different?
Yeah, well, what you miss with Avery is having Avery and KCP out there at the same time. The depth. But KCP has been one of the brightest parts of our season this year. He had a terrific stretch there, in particular that time where Avery was out. After a little bit of a slow start, really being one of the leaders in our team in playing harder than our opponent, the hustle, the intensity, changing ends of the floors, and then the shot making that he exhibited during that stretch and really most of our season was a huge reason for our record. You need two-way guys that play both ends of the floor, and with his shot making ability to make plays off the bounce, as well as what he brings on the defensive end, being able to put him on really anybody on the perimeter on the other end of the floor, just a big part of our defensive rating and a big part of our success this year.
Okay, it looks like Bill Orem has one last question, and then we'll wrap this up.
Thanks, Allie. Frank, when you talk about JR and Dion and the benefit of now having both of them, do you see yourself being able to use both of them on a nightly basis? Would you look at rotations getting smaller in the playoffs, or is it going to need to be an either-or thing, or who can get it going? How are you going to be able to lean on those guys, do you think? The
best answer to that is we'll see. Obviously both of them are super talented, and they can play and they can contribute and they can help. But we have a great deal of depth even without Avery on our team at the wing spot, at the perimeter spot, and obviously with LeBron handling a lot of times as the point guard, you can play just a lot of shot making wings with him. So we're going to have versatility. I don't know exactly where they're going to fit into a rotation, whether it's going to be both of them, one of them, neither of them on certain nights. Those answers will play out over the 2-3 weeks of training camp, the scrimmages, and the seeding games. But they'll have opportunities in those seeding games to show what they can do and how they fit into this group.